All right, let's go. Audino.
Let's see. English to Spanish. What is audio in Spanish?
Oh,
Audio.
are we audible? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party set the workings for a trap where either they will overpower the captain of Plundan and put a stop to his schemes, or they themselves will be placed at the whims and mercies of the good captain. Discovering that the captain has been keeping the previous fighters hostage using the mind control abilities bestowed on him by the Apollo's Pythian Wreath, the party has decided that taking advantage of Paul and Avaben's immunity and resistance, respectively, to such abilities, that they would lose on purpose and in the least interesting way possible to ensure that they are the next the captain targets, and with any luck, will put a stop to his schemes here and now. The pieces have been laid. Now it is just a matter of will the bait survive the trap. Nitro has promised to pass word on to the other fighters of the minor and major leagues, who, if you're lucky, will come to your defense against the veritable army of fighters that the captain likely has at his beck and call, and has also, even if it kills him, promised to inform the Brethren of the Coast that the captain of Plundan has betrayed them and that you are at his mercy. And if you can arrest or, kill, whichever comes first, this man, perhaps you'll be rewarded by the pirates. Or, at the very least, perhaps they might show you mercy. With that said, making a deal with the Swarm Storm, despite his protests, you have surrendered, and for the first time since coming to Plundan, lost a bout. Which means you're next. And that is where we will pick up. Imamu looks over all of you with this shocked expression. As Avaben, you kind of offhandedly explain away the surrender as not wishing to bring harm to a child. He looks between you and the Swarm Storm, and with the Swarm Storm having already been declared the winner, a few members of the crowd, likely fans of his, do cheer, but there's a noted kind of confusion to it, almost like the audience themselves aren't sure how they're supposed to react. You see Imamu kind of look around for a moment, and he kind of furrows his brow and clicks his tongue kind of irritably and just, where is Nitro? And he gives a bow to Benny. You have my congratulations, Swarmstorm. Why don't you stay here for a moment and bask in your victory? Nitro should be with you shortly. Benny kind of gives a somewhat visible swallow of nervousness, but gives a nod. Aye, Captain. Well, Divine Five. And he holds one arm out in what you imagine is supposed to be a comforting gesture and holds the other out for you to follow as he begins to walk you along. And I'll walk you back to the locker room.
Do you even need to do the song and dance? I think we all know what's going to happen after the fight.
He gives you a smile, and I know you haven't had the displeasure of experiencing it, but I make it a policy to personally meet with all of the losing teams. I find that it's a more comforting end to their career in my tournament than to simply have Nitro guide them along and tell them to pack up their things and get off the ship.
Is this talk where they go to that room?
He kind of tilts his head, and I'm not sure I know what you're referring to.
Oh, I think you do. You just don't want to admit it.
Hmm. He kind of stares at you impassively for a moment.
The room to get our stuff, you know? Don't want to leave anything behind. And I'm gonna like silently glare at Ivan, like, what are you doing?
When are we supposed to spring this?
Whenever you have him alone, because if you get into a fight with the captain in front of a crowd, they're gonna assume you started it.
Fair. But he hasn't started anything yet. He knows the captain was gonna play coy. Till the last moment.
He kind of stares at you, at Avaben, impassively.
Oh, come on, let's go have our talk.
He finally glances to you, Greylog, and I suppose I should see to the other fights. Make your way to the locker room. I'll come and fetch you after the ceremony. Make sure you're there. I would hate to leave you in a polymorphed state, subtle as the differences may be. And he kind of glances his eyes over you and gives you a smile. I'll be with you as soon as today's bouts are over.
Yes, sir.
And with that, once you guys have crossed the threshold, exited the arena, and the cheers of the crowd and the confused conversation between them is reduced to muffled background noise through the walls of the ship, he gives you all a bow before walking away from you towards one of the other arenas, presumably to oversee and announce the next series of bouts.
After he walks away, Vamon's like, well, we definitely know he doesn't know. The game's about to be up.
You almost blew the cover there, buddy.
He wasn't going to do anything. He's going to keep lying about it until the last moment.
You really want to count on that? Right now, we want the element of surprise. And it's not much of a surprise. You're pretty much telling them that we already know everything.
He might not even know what I was talking about. He might not consider it a room.
Based on how the captain acted, it didn't look like he was registering that we were onto him.
Make an insight check. Let's see here.
But sometimes it's good to get him thinking about things.
Nah, yeah, it seemed like he had no idea what you were talking about. Seemed genuinely confused. It seems like he more likely left because he imagined that he seemed like he felt that Avaben just didn't like him for some reason, so he just didn't want to bother you if you didn't want to talk to him.
So, what did he roll?
Greylog rolled insight. If you're curious, Greylog, you rolled a 14 on insight.
Oh, yeah, does it matter then?
Well, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that gets surprised by things anyways.
Well, let's hope he does. Part of my plan tonight counts on him getting surprised. At least a little bit.
But he doesn't know what we're going to do about it, even if he does realize it. As far as he's concerned, he has the ultimate answer to that. The ability to make people do whatever he wants, at will.
Yeah, for now.
So, I don't think even if he does realize, he's going to be overly concerned.
So, you think if I get really, really small and I go inside of his head and then go back to my full size that I kill him?
What in the...
That's a very odd question, love.
That would be a very unorthodox way to kill someone.
Are we aiming orthodox at the moment? But I hear your point.
Not to mention, I don't know if it's anatomically sound.
Plus, are we even aiming to kill him?
It's more likely to kill me than it is to or both of us.
I'm not sure about the killing him part, but you know.
I mean, to be fair, most likely the pirates are going to kill him anyways, if we succeed.
You're not wrong, or you may not be. It is possible, but why should we have to pull the trigger?
And plus, they may wind up killing him in a significantly worse way. I think Nitro said something about getting dragged along the bottom of a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if we kill him quickly, then we're honestly doing him a favor.
I'm not sure if I feel the same way at that, but you know. We will come to that when we encounter him.
All right. Is there any final preparations you guys wish to make once you return to the locker room, or are you content to wait until you are fetched and go from there?
He's just going to heal and he's going to wait.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait.
Okay.
Didn't Avaven fashion some, like, arrows? Some, like, special explosive arrows?
Yeah, you combine dynamite with fire monocrystals to make special explosive arrows.
Hang on.
And a Greylog fashioned you a gravity arrow.
What was that?
Yes, you've fashioned explosive arrows out of dynamite and fire mana, and Greylog fashioned you a gravity arrow.
How many of those special explosive arrows did I make?
Greylog, I believe it was 15, correct?
15's correct.
All right, yeah, 15 of those and 1 gravity.
Okay. Let's see. Search.
All right. As you all make your preparations, Vaben, you adjust the special arrows you've made. Greylog and Asari, you sit and contemplate. The rest of the minor league is... A few of them are already out at the moment. Periodically, some will return with some bumps and bruises, but otherwise none the worse for wear. Whenever the whenever the Seven Samurai return from their bout for the night, you notice that a good majority of them look pretty worse for wear and are sporting some serious-looking gunshots, although they don't appear like they're going to be fatal right now, given the nature of Plundan. But you do not imagine they did very well in their bout. Paul, you notice, kind of glancing out of the corner of your eye, that Nitro does not return. And you see different members of Plundan's crew instead taking the time to essentially take over Nitro's role. It appears the captain...
I guess while we're waiting, can everyone ask the Seven Samurai if Nitro talked to them about something?
As you ask them this question, one of the members of the samurai who are still kind of actively conscious, the one dressed in all black, he kind of looks to you and he kind of looks around for a moment before giving you a kind of slow, careful nod. That he did.
Hopefully I'll be in enough of a piece to do it.
He kind of gives you a slow nod, and we'll be there. Y'all just be careful.
Were they one of the ones who saw the room?
Yes. Yeah, they were the ones that were with you guys when you discovered it, although you guys had done further investigation without them.
They know, so they get what the point of this whole giving up was.
Mm-hmm. Which is why they don't appear to be asking questions about it.
Enough. I guess we'll just go back to waiting then.
All right. Eventually, judging from the still distant cheering you can hear, the bouts for the day appear to be over. And rather than Nitro, that old man whose hand Asari had broken kind of cautiously steps through the doors and... All right, everyone. It's the end of the bout for tonight. Come on.
I think everybody knows what's about to happen.
Indeed, and yeah, there's a kind of tense atmosphere in the room as everyone stands. And you all begin to follow the elderly man. Paul?
Yeah, so we still have to make it official. We haven't really gone out there and him announcing it yet.
And sure enough, you guys have done this dance before, although it's odd to be comfortable in the knowledge that you likely are going to be announced as the losers. You're taken out to the massive crowd of people, and even in the crowd, there's a kind of shift in the energy. Apparently, or rather, you can at least imagine, word has spread about the less than orthodox conclusion to your battle with the Swarm Storm. You have to imagine that surrenders are very rare in these tournaments, and even if they do happen, they tend to happen after an extended bout. But
Like it's happened before, it's probably because of some kind of extraneous circumstance.
Mm-hmm. As you're all taken out, standing with the remaining members of the minor league, the major league across from you, and the champion with his arms crossed, Imamu gestures to the crowd as you all line up, and as per tradition, Imamu walks along the length of all of the lined up fighters, the various teams that remain in the bout, and he stops when he gets to you guys and kind of considers you for a moment, And you can see that kind of mellow and somber expression. And Avaben, from the personal encounters you've had with the man, you have to imagine that he's almost debating whether it'd be worth it to cheat and keep you in the fight. But it seems his sense of fair play wins out, and he gives a sigh and whispers
Wouldn't
to...
that have been a twist if he didn't eliminate us?
Yeah. Like, he still could say that you could still someone else lost for some reason.
He sighs to the five of you as he stands in front of you and says in a low voice that only the five of you can hear over the clamor of the crowd, "I can appreciate your reasons, but I'm sorry, I have to play by the rules."
It's fine. Do what you have to do, Captain.
He gives you a smile and a nod before turning and... "The Divine Five have lost." And you can hear some boos from the crowd and some yelling, as it appears a lot of people don't agree with his assertion, but he holds up a hand as the crowd bemoans and complains, although you hear a few cheers scattered here and there, likely those who were worried about their favorite fighters going up against you. And Imamu speaks to the crowd. Now, they came far, and even their loss came with honor. Divine Five, as my personal apprentices in this 6th Septennial Doomspell Tournament, it has been an honor to watch your progress. He raises a hand, and you can see the polymorph powder cannons level at you. May your future journeys keep you well. And he waves a hand, and you all see the cannonballs come speeding at you before polymorph powder plumes over all of you. And you are all returned to the 5th edition rule set.
Yeah.
The changes are probably minor.
No, yeah, the changes are pretty minor, but basically, yeah, you are now purely 5th edition.
Also, we probably lost more than we gained.
He gives you a bow, and Avaben kind of glancing around. You can see kind of standing off to the side where Nitro would ordinarily be standing. You see some of the crew of Brother Ares, although the captain himself and his children are nowhere in sight. But they kind of give you guys nods as you were declared the losers. And do you guys wish to leave now? Or, as you know at this point, normally Nitro escorts the loser off the stage while the next round is explained. But do you guys wish to stick around or just head back to the locker room?
I guess we'll head back. Waiting for a moment to spring this trap.
Paul will stay.
Yeah, well, I'd head back just to keep up the tradition of what's supposed to happen.
All right.
Paul will stay.
Paul, your teammates, eager to keep up the pretense that everything is normal and nothing strange is going on, one by one begin to make their way off the stage. You kind of see Imamu glance at you and kind of give you a nod, and he doesn't force you off the stage, but he does kind of gently tug you to be out of the way so that you're not caught up in the blast of powder. And he gives you a smile, and I'll be with you and your team shortly. And he turns and begins to announce to the crowd. For our next round, Not all battles fought in this world are fought between powerful individuals. Rather, battles in many places, in many wars, are decided by the individual effort of hundreds, fighting in massive battles that can destroy landscapes, magic that can level cities. Their names are forgotten, but their contributions remain. In our next bout, we witness the warfare of the land of Ephisum as they battle for supremacy. And he turns and begins to explain the rules of the next bout. Paul, from what you're able to hear, it appears the next round's gimmick for the fighters, if it is had at all, of course, is going to be that they can essentially find mercenaries from Plundan or just even among the other fighting teams and recruit them to essentially act as soldiers, as under whatever system they're about to play under, they are individually much weaker, and the best strategy to win is to have just simply a lot of fighters
Well, we picked
helping
a really good time to spring this plan.
Well, maybe get more of them.
As the fighters of Plundan who remain are now going to be playing under the Warhammer Fantasy rule set.
Yeah, I was like, that's good.
It's gonna be Warhammer.
I figured I looked to see what the rule set if we're gonna have allies that are still in the fight.
As he gives a wave and the powder overtakes the fighters, he gives his final closing statements. The crowd begins to calm in part, and Nitro turns to you, Paul, with a smile and holds out a hand for you to take. And come on, I'll walk you back to the locker room.
All right, and he'll follow with them.
As the sounds of the arena fade into the background, Paul, you notice all of the fighters, minor league, major league, and champion, watch you and the captain go kind of apprehensively. Their expressions are hard to read, but there's definitely a tension on you. The usual kind of inner team arguments and banter that happen between rounds appears completely absent.
Mm-hmm.
As you're taken out of the arena and walked towards the locker room to regroup with your party,
Like, was
Imamu.
it the captain who grabbed him or Nitro?
The captain, Nitro, has still not been seen since you last saw him.
Yeah, I think you said Nitro.
Oh, that was a mistake on my part, sorry.
Yeah. It's fine. I was just noticing it. It kind of confused me for a second.
As the captain watches you, he kind of is silent for about half the walk, Paul, but then eventually pipes up. I won't lie and say that I'm not a little disappointed, but I suppose not everyone is Plundan material.
You're not wrong. We aren't really necessarily, well, at least I speak for myself. I don't really care for the ways here.
Well, your loss came with some dignity. I'll give you respect for that. And I hope you know you're welcome back on this ship anytime.
I may hold you to that.
He gives you a smile, and... But I'm not heartless. I don't do this for most fighters, but I do have a consolation prize for you. Call it a gift from your sponsor before we part ways.
And that is...
He gives you a smile. I'll explain once your team is together. It's a gift for all of you. He approaches the locker room door. All of you on the inside waiting, hear the bar shift and the doors open, and see Mamu.
And right before,
The bar
whenever we hear
shift.
like the door moving, Avapit's gonna quickly ask, "Are we doing this now?" I don't remember.
Not yet. Gotta get to the reading first. They want Lenny to move, and him not be able to just walks back in.
I thought the point was to do it whenever we're not in the arena, so that the crowd doesn't get the wrong idea.
I think
But people won't be in the arena when he takes a single. They would have already left by that. It'd just be
I guess
us.
it's gonna depend on if he decides to do his thing now or later. If he does it now, we don't have a choice.
But if he's casting magic, especially if it's a ritual, it'll take him time. He'll want us complacent. He's not going to just spring it. He'll want to fool us into thinking that that is something else. Then it would be too late.
Well, let's see. I think he's about to come in.
Oh yeah. Also, you said the door shift, like what? Like the bar? What do you mean bar?
Like that little wood plank that's used to lock it.
Why is it locked? Aren't they? How they get inside and locked?
It's an interesting question, isn't it?
It's like they're inside yet.
Austin,
What?
roll 0.
No, it's just like what?
That's a fair question. Why don't you ask the captain about it?
Yeah, just like he wants to get this done.
As the door opens, you see Paul and the captain in the doorway, and Imamu gives you all a bow, and as I was telling your friend here, I won't lie and say I'm not disappointed, but I do understand. But I'm not heartless. Gather up the last of your things from the locker room and follow me. I have a consolation prize before you go.
Vaven just looks to Greylog, thinking about how he said he'll want to make it look like something else.
Yeah, no, I'll give him the motion. Just wait. Not yet.
Honestly, he doesn't need Greylog's approval because Greylog's going to get mind control, but him and Paul might not be, and then they'll have to do something. Carry on.
He nods and gestures for all of you to follow. As you all follow him through the halls of Plundan, at this point it's late, and there's a palpable buzzing tension in the air. You notice, interestingly, that the rest of the minor league fighters have not returned yet. As Imamu walks you all along, he is kind of, again, quiet for a chunk of the walk, but then pipes up as you're going, and in truth, I had sincerely hoped it wouldn't come to this.
But you're just thinking, here it comes.
Yeah, but you know, there is even honor among those that we must be. At a time when those that are winning must eventually lose.
If you had told me that when I was a child, I would have refused to believe you.
Yeah, I was going to say, would you have listened?
Well, I suppose you have me there.
You know, children.
Stubborn. I like to think I was a precocious little youngster, but in truth, I was probably more like the Aries boy than I care to admit. But
What, getting into trouble?
something like that. More a rebellious spirit. Almost the urge to do things because you were told not to do them. I mean, look at me. My father was an entertainer, my mother a scientist, and as much as she wanted me to take after her, I may have inherited her mind, but I took after my father's spirit. I hope he would have been proud of what I turned this place into.
I'm sure they would have. You took the best of both of them and made it into one.
Thank you, Mr. Orchin. Coming from you, that means quite a lot. He approaches the arena and, taking out a silvery key, begins to open the locked door and, hoisting the rolling door up, ducks through and gestures for all of you to follow. Now, typically I don't do this for everyone, but I want to give you a chance to meet the previous champions.
D&D. Should they be dead by this point?
He gives you a smile, and not all of us are cursed with a short lifespan. Some of us can live for a good long while, with magic and medicine, perhaps even longer still. He leads you all into Arena 1, which is dark in the night sky, illuminated only by a kind of silvery turquoise shade of greenish blue as he leads you all onto the arena. But I thought, what could I offer you besides money and artifacts? And he kind of gives you all a guilty smile. As much as I like you, I think it would look rather poorly for Plundan if I was to simply give you the championship belt without you earning it. But I can at least let you have some parting wisdom from the previous. And he drags his foot along the center of the arena, and his eyes close as he begins to go into this almost dance. He clicks his heels and toes against the floor in this kind of mesmerizing dancing pattern before he gives a click of his heel, and you hear this clicking as the floor begins to descend. And you all find yourself in a dark pit, illuminated only by dim lanterns. He smiles at all of you over his shoulder, and bet you never would have suspected this has been under the arena all along, would you?
No, not at all.
Does ship have prices?
Beg pardon?
The ship has many surprises.
Indeed they do. If you believe everything you hear, this place contains a lot of secrets.
And a couple of legends.
Legends indeed. He bows and steps behind all of you, as you can see figures beginning to move in the darkness.
At this point, I got a feeling that a trap is coming. Can I cast polymorph? Okay.
Well, wait. Do you want to do insight or do you want to do polymorph?
Well, I was going to do polymorph on the captain while he's distracted.
Okay. as he's bowing and stepping out of the way, Greylog, you turn and cast Polymorph. That is a DC 14 Wiz save.
I guess we're starting this.
I was like, huh, I guess he did suspect it.
Greylog, you turn and quickly saying the words, cast Polymorph, the captain. And you all turn, readying your weapons, and see the captain just, his eyes are closed, and he kind of shakes his head and looks to you, Greylog, and his eyes open. And you can see they have that kind of mischievous twinkle he often has, but it is devoid of humor. The mischief of a trickster who does it simply because, rather than for the giggles of it. And he kind of smiles to you, Greylog, and be honest with me. Did you think it would work?
I hope so.
Well, I wasn't lying when I said I was going to let you meet the previous champions.
But we're going to fight them. We're using
In a
that
sense.
magic of yours that you used to lure them to that room that you can't access unless you have the special spares.
He gives you a slow nod and something like that. He looks
I'm
over
surprised
all
you
of you.
didn't lead with that.
He frowns and I was telling you the truth. I really do like all of you very much. I wanted you to be distracted, to not be thinking about it too hard. I didn't want you to suffer. But I'll do what I must. Don't worry, though. I have no plans of keeping you behind the ship's walls for the rest of your lives. He does a twirling, and you can see he's almost starting to do this dance
You know
as he talks.
something about elves, right?
You're resistant, but you're not immune. This is the charming power of a god.
Wait, one more ditch attempt. Can I, do I see the crown on his head? For the wreath?
You can see that, yes, he is wearing the wreath wrapped securely around the massive, pretty hat on his head.
Can I steal his hat and the wreath at the same time? Like, can I just rip it off his head so he's not wearing it?
You can try.
I would like to try that.
Okay.
Also, is he within 30 feet?
Yes, he is 20 feet behind you.
Alright, let's see what Greylog does.
All right, sleight of hand. That is a 9. Greylog, you run and reach for his hat, and Avaben, Paul, Asari, you watch as he slides these fans from his sleeves, and Greylog, as you reach for his hat, one of your wrists is caught in the fold of the fan, and he twirls it, and you can feel that with the force, he could break your wrist if he wanted to, but he settles for simply redirecting you, and you pummel into Asari with a poof that kind of knocks the wind out of both of you as he opens the fans and kind of almost begins to lightly and playfully fan himself with them as he speaks. As I was saying, I have no intention of keeping you prisoner. You're destined for far greater things.
Just so you know, if you're wondering where Nitro is, he's currently telling everybody what you've been doing.
Bully for him. Nobody's going to be able to stop me.
I just want you to know that once this is over, one way or the other, you might have something waiting for you.
Oh, I have something waiting for me indeed, Mr. Aglatha. The underdog. He gestures and holds his arms out like an almost religious figure as he looks up at the night sky. I'm going to be remembered for all eternity. When I turn you over to the Boomer Gangers, and they take every artifact from your hands and use them to open up the doors, I will be certain to pass down for all of eternity how you all contributed to it. You'll be remembered as legends. Take comfort in that. Perhaps
It's actually horrible the keys with us. We're not that important.
I was gonna say something, but then he said something first.
Well, you can still say what you want to say.
Yeah, Vaven was gonna pull out the pistol and be like, "You know about the artifacts? Do you know what this one does?"
The pistol of Vulcan can instantly slay any target it hits.
Yes, so you understand why it's not good to be on the other end of this thing.
Perhaps for another man. Do you know what they used to call me whenever I did last Septennials tournament? He unsheaths from his robe a folding out 9-pronged trident and twirls it in a dancing motion as the fans slide back up his sleeves, and he catches it and levels it at all of you. And as he kind of dances and sways, the whirling dervish. If you think you can land a hit on me, then by all means you can try.
Alright, let's try it. Fuck it. Fatal shot.
He gives you a grin and twirls his trident. And I would like everyone to please roll for initiative.
Oh, I can't do it yet? Fuck!
Well, you're
I
not
mean,
surprising him.
Yeah, and you're gonna have a turn.
Gotta roll initiative. Alright, so that's that.
Alright. Where did I put my battle document? There you are. Alright. 25
I'm
to
gonna
20.
laugh if I actually hit the fatal shot. And it succeeds. I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it did. Because I know Matthew took it into account.
Oh boy.
So he's probably pretty good. He's probably got pretty good
Hang on,
AC
just one
and
sec.
No
pretty
worries.
good at rolling. What is it? A con save?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he's probably gonna have good constitution and a good AC. So he's probably gonna either not be hit or he's gonna succeed the save.
Yeah, or basically not. Yeah, not. He'll still get hit, but not get the fatal shot. Yeah.
Also, Greylog, just so you know, your initiative, Jesus, is 9.
Okay, we just saying numbers?
No, it's because I'm rolling for Greylog, but I figured you would want to know where his... What's that?
You're using cursed dice.
I'm using the same dice I use for the monsters. 25 to 20.
That
I
explains
have
it.
22.
Alright, Vaben. 20 to 15. $15 to 10.
I got a 15.
Okay. Paul, what'd you get?
9.
Alright, you and Greylog will be going at the same time. Let me roll for the twins.
The twins.
Yeah.
And I don't like that the DM's controlling the boss is rolling for one of our characters and is controlling another of our party.
It is also a 9. Okay. A lot of 9s.
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest.
It's not a conflict of interest. We actually want the same thing.
I know, I'm just joking with you, Matthew.
All
I'm
right.
just giving you a hard time.
I will shift all of you to be on the battle map. The only thing to keep in mind is that the part of the arena that's differently textured is lowered below the rest of the arena. So bear in mind that you can't just walk from one side to the other. You have to take climbing into account. Other than that though, you're all good. Greylog, you are here. Vaven, you're right there. Paul, you're there. Twins, you're there. Okay. Let the final battle of Trouble on the Tabletop begin. Imamu is up first.
Damn, bro. Shit, I knew it was gonna happen.
Let's see, what is he gonna do? He is going to start to dance and use the Pythian Wreath as an action. Paul, you are immune to being charmed, yes?
Yes.
Everyone else make a wisdom saving throw against being charmed.
Now, is this map accurate?
How do you mean?
Is this map accurate? Basically, what?
In terms of you guys' distance from each other?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Both. Well, I guess one version.
Caro is Flower, and that's the dominant twin. So if Flower is within range, both twins are affected.
Okay. So I don't know which one's Carol, but I guess
Green.
I guess the
Frog.
green one. I guess the frog one because that's the main
The
character.
frog. How do you not know which one is Caro?
Not Caro. I was thinking Flower and Fall. I wasn't thinking. Anyway, both Ivabin and I guess Flower and Fall are immune.
All right, nice.
If only we had these two next to him, because Vaven has advantage, so he had a high chance of succeeding.
In that case,
I'm good. I rolled a fucking natural 20, so 23.
okay.
Do natural 20s apply to saves?
No, but as long as the number's high enough, she's still good. And Greylog, with your pretty considerable wisdom modifier, you got a 23. Imamu dances, sways, twirls his trident, and you watch as the wreath begins to glow, and this warm light of the sun begins to encompass all of you. Avaben and the twins can feel a very light pull, but Paul, you stand resolute, and as the twins and Avaben look to you as a beacon, they manage to steady themselves, and Asari, with Greylog still leaned up against you from being thrown into you, the two of you stare unblinking and resist the pull you can feel in your heart to be drawn to him.
Vaven's just gonna be like, well, I bet you weren't expecting that.
I'll admit I'm disappointed, but he twirls the trident and levels it at you like a javelin, almost like he's kind of playfully testing the throw. I don't need you alive to take your artifacts. I'm sure the Boomer Gangers will understand.
Is that his turn, or does he have multiple actions?
He can't attack. He can't do another action, but I am seeing if there's anything else he can or wants to do real quick.
Well, you're putting a lot of faith in the Boomer Gangers that they're not going to just turn on you once they get what they want.
Yeah, they were going to turn on the Dark Elves pretty quickly.
They've already given me what I want.
Yes,
But
but
it
your
seems rather
artifact is
stupid of
what's
them. You
needed
could
for
have
the
just walked
program.
away.
Yes, but I'm a man of fair play. He gives a bow and holds his hand out to all of you and gives you that bring it on hand motion. Let's see if the Divine Five can stand a chance against the Whirling Dervish. I may be out of practice, but I'm not going down without a fight.
Alright. So is it my turn?
Yep, Avaben, you're up. Asari on deck.
Alright, so the first shot, we're gonna try the fatal shot.
Go for it.
Alright, come on. Something good. Oh god, I don't know if that's gonna be good enough. 21.
Do. You level the Forge Cast pistol at the captain and fire. And as the monocrystal bolt fires towards him, he smiles and does a slide on his knee, still
So if I
not
have a
breaking
second
his
attack
dance.
per action, can I try to hit him right as he stops dodging that one?
Sure.
Do I get anything for that, or is it just gonna be flavor?
Yeah, this is just flavor. You missed. That's the only really relevant mechanical thing.
Damn, I was trying to fish for it. That's not enough. Miss.
Alright. You fire, he slides with a smile under, and as you pull back, you fire again, and he pole vaults his trident into the ground and launches into the air well away from your shot. And when he lands, he's perched on one foot with his hands spread out for balance on the tip of his trident. And he smiles as he dances at the top. You're gonna have to do a bit better than that, I'm afraid.
Oh, good thing I forgot to say I meant that to be a disabling shot, so it doesn't count. Alright, so that's my actions, now I have bonus actions.
Yeah.
Okay, those are self, so that means I gotta cast on myself and then do something. Okay, so I can't do that. So, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Okay. Till the spell ends, you deal an extra damage, you have advantage, you're gonna use... Okay. You cast
hold on.
Hunter's Mark on Imamu Merrick.
Hold on. Did I
on.
just screw up massively? Yeah, I heard something about advantage. Oh, for fuck! You know what? I just fucking quit. I can't fucking believe.
Yep.
Alright. Sorry, you're up. Greylog and Paul on deck.
Alright.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted. Okay, so I can't see the 20 right now. So can you tell me how close / far away he is?
He is 25 feet from you. Greylog is right in front of you. Avaben is 10 feet to your left.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to cast a Snowball Storm at 3rd level at him.
Alright. Snowball Storm.
Yeah, so I need a dexterity save of 14.
Okay, 3rd level Snowball Storm. Does a 21 save?
It does, but I think he still gets half damage.
Yep, 3d6 cold damage on a failed save.
Okay. Okay. It's actually 46 because I did it at 3rd level. I didn't do too much.
Go on.
8.
Okay. Asari, you cast snowball storm, and immediately the warm light of Apollo's sun fades and is replaced with the sheer cold of your draconic blood as snow and ice begin to flurry around the captain. You watch as he smiles and enters an almost meditative pose on the tip of the trident, and as he vanishes beneath the hail of snow and sleet, you watch as he disappears, and then as the snow clears, he stands completely unharmed, as he uses evasion to take no damage from a save.
Evasion.
Since he succeeded the save, he takes no damage instead of half damage.
He's got like the powerful move there. Yeah. So you said evasion, right?
Yes, he has evasion. Is that the end of your turn, sorry?
Yep, that's it. That's all I can do.
Okay. Greylog and Paul, you're up. You can go in whichever order you prefer. And I'll be figuring out what the twins are doing after you guys.
I'll let Paul go first.
Alright, Paul, Greylog, and then the twins.
Alright, well, let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Oh. Well, man, I can't. I was gonna do that, but then it's gonna be immediately broken. Actually, you could do your things first, because I actually have. I going last would be helpful.
Okay. I don't mind. I already know what I want to do.
Alright.
So, as my bonus action, I'm going to summon my wildfire spirit.
Okay. Any preference on where you put it?
They will be just inside of me.
Okay. I'll drop a token on that so that we can keep track of it. Just need to find it. Anything else?
Yes. The captain is now holding his trident, correct?
Yes.
4th level heat metal.
Okay. Hang on, just trying to find something I can use for the... There we go. I'll use this fireplace token to represent your familiar.
Hey, I was going to say, he's lit.
Alright. Heat metal. What level?
4th.
Okay, 4th level heat metal. Alright, you're out of 4th level spell slots now. Manufacture metal object. Pause. Any creature within fizzle takes 2d8 fire damage when you cast a spell. Alright, so roll right, yeah, I forgot. So 2d8 fire damage, which yeah, there's no save, so
I thought the damage at higher levels.
one
So
more time.
it should be a higher. It should be doing more damage because it's a higher level.
Yeah,
Oh yes, you are. Yeah, you are correct. 48. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at the spell description, not the version on your character sheet. Sorry. All right, so 4d8 when you cast the spell. All right, so that's 10, 16, 20. That is 20 fire damage. Does he have any way to deal with that? I don't think so. Nope. Okay. All right. He takes 20 fire damage.
Yes, make a con save.
Yep. I'm just noting down the damage to his health first. Alright. Fire damage. Pretty good hit. Alright. And if a creature is holding or wearing the object and takes the damage, must succeed on a con save or drop the object. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. So, with that said, con save. Oh, rolled around a little bit. Now, ordinarily, he would have failed that, but he is going to use legendary resistance to succeed.
Even then, he still gets disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a win-win.
Is that the end of your turn, Greylog?
Because I don't think I can have my wildfire spirit do anything this round, correct?
Let me check.
I assume because it probably requires a bonus action, right?
As an action, you can expend... Oh, you shouldn't have been able to summon the spirit and do heat metal. It's an action to summon it.
Oh, I thought it was a bonus action to summon my wildfire spirit.
I'm looking at it right now. As an action, you expend a use of your wild shape to summon your wildfire spirit rather than assuming a beast form.
Oh, my bad.
And each creature within 10 feet other than you when it appears must succeed on a dex save. So sorry, make me a dex save.
Okay, let's do that.
My apologies.
It's okay.
So, if it's good with you, we'll skip your next turn, since you technically took 2 actions.
Matthew,
That is
What's up?
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay, you will take 2 d6 fire damage. Ironically, d6s was one of the few dice I didn't grab, so... You take 11 fire damage.
Wow. Well, nice.
Alright. Anything else, Greylog? Movement, anything else?
The only thing he's going to do is just stay as far, keep distance. He does not want to get close.
So, do you want to back up to the corners of the arena?
Correct.
Okay.
But still be within range so that he doesn't lose concentration of the heat metal.
Okay.
For his next round.
Okie dokie.
60 feet.
So, heat metal, 60 feet. So, yeah, you can...
Go to the corner.
Alright. Doot! Okay. He is going to... Imamu, before you go... so, real quick, Paul, do you want the twins to go? Or do you want to go last? Or do you want to, do you want to just go after Greylog?
Yeah, I want to go last. Basically, the twins can go.
Okay.
Assuming he's doing a legendary action.
Indeed. He is going to use a legendary action to do Step of the Wind.
Oh.
Oh, hold on, wait a fucking second. I just read the fucking spell. What the fuck are you laughing about? Acting like I fucking screwed up. That's what made me fucking think I screwed it up, because you started fucking laughing like I missed something. I didn't miss shit.
Was he even laughing at you?
He laughed right after I said it.
He laughs all the time.
I will say it wasn't necessarily you screwed up. I was laughing because the reaction you have. You got so
I heard
angry.
something about advantage and thought I got advantage against targets with the mark, which meant I would have had advantage on that attack. That's why I reacted like that. I don't give a shit about fucking, like, whoever fucking needs wisdom or survival checks. Who fucking needs that? Like, when you're on the fucking road.
Imamu, with a legendary action, is going to use Step of the Wind.
Did I still cast that spell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Using Step of the Wind, you watch as he vanishes for a brief moment and reappears almost like from smoke, and you watch as he, with speed that is unbecoming of a turtle, runs across the hanging pit and jumps all the way up to reach the top of the pit, now circling the outside of it, and simply drops his 9-pronged trident to the side and kind of dusts.
Fuck, I did screw up. I could have used... No, that's an action. I couldn't have used that. Never mind.
And Asari, you note with some pleasure that Greylog's spell did seem to get through to him. It seems like he's really good at dodging, but you can see his hand is visibly burned. He doesn't seem particularly durable. It's just that hitting him seems incredibly difficult.
So what happened while I was gone? And my wallowing that I didn't need to do because I misread a spell.
Asari used Snowball Storm. That revealed that Imamu has evasion. So if you make him do a saving throw, if he succeeds, he won't take any damage, and if he fails, he'll take half.
It's a dex save, yeah.
Yeah, if it's a dex save. And Greylog used Heat Metal, which he didn't have a counter for, so he took 20 fire damage from that, and then used a legendary action to get out of the pit. So he's now on the outside of the low-hanging area where you guys are.
Okay.
And it is now the twins go. And him moving does fuck up what they were planning to do. The twins.
Wait, how did he move? It's not...
Well,
he has legendary actions. He can basically do a thing at the end of you guys' turn if he wants to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Awesome. Or legendary creatures get those kind of deals.
So if he uses them all up now, he won't have them later. So that's to earn
he gets them back at the start of the initiative round.
Well, it started his it started his turn, yeah. But just the start of initiative. They're pretty fierce, especially the resistance. But isn't that like a day thing, right? The resistance.
The resistance is, yeah, he can only do resistance so many times a day, but yeah, legendary actions he can effectively do as many times as he wants, just not all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's see. Flower is going to fly straight up, and... oh man, this is tricky. Okay, actually, they're gonna move over here. And he's out of range for them to manifest an echo next to him, so they are going to...
out of range? How high up is he?
He is currently 30 feet in the air. She could fly directly up to do it, but that would she doesn't have enough movement to get close enough to him and high up enough in the air. So she's settling for getting close to him right now. She's going to take a shot at him. That is a dirty 20. Flower levels their gun, their little derringer at the captain, and
their pixie rifle.
Yeah, their little pixie rifle, and fires. And Imamu, with his hands now free, whips out one of those fans, and you watch as he catches the bullet between the metal hands of the fan, and kind of playfully twirls it between his fingers before just letting it drop next to him.
Anything less than a 20 won't hit.
Well,
So it's got to be. So it's at least 21 or higher.
But didn't you get a 21 the first?
Yeah, you got a 21 and still missed, so it's got to be a 22 or higher at least.
Yeah. So anything less than that doesn't matter.
And they don't want to throw their +1 axe and lose it, so they are going to take the dodge. They'll use action surge and take the dodge action. All right, Paul, you're up.
I knew there was a reason why I didn't use Hunter's Mark before. I should probably still should have used it before because I could have added it on, but still.
I'm just trying to think here, where like, man, how close is he from Caro, or what, from Fall?
From Flower and Fall?
Yeah.
He is 10 feet vertically, or he is 10 feet horizontally and 30 feet vertically.
Oh, I'm surprised that you didn't use the echo on him.
Oh, because he's too high up. You can only summon the echo within 15 feet.
15 feet?
I'm looking at it, it says 15 feet.
I think it's like they can only be 30 feet from you, right?
Yeah, like they can be 30 feet from you, but you can only summon it
45 feet away, but then how much high?
30 feet high.
So that's, what, 75 feet in total?
No,
More or less, yeah.
Right,
But yeah, we don't really do math in that particular way. Like, as long as you're basically within, as long as he would be within range either way, then it shouldn't affect you too badly.
yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't matter. I have 150 range.
Yeah, like, because if you do, it's not like, oh, go one way and then go up. It's
Wait, don't I also have the feature that makes it where even if, like, I can hit him, like, to my maximum range without a disadvantage?
Yep, attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage, and your ranged attacks ignore half and 3/4 cover.
So it doesn't matter. He could be, another fucking, what, like, 515 feet in the air, and I would still hit him.
Alright, Paul, what are you gonna do?
Well, him moving does complicate things, but I'm going to try to get within about 30 feet from him. Try to think, like...
Let's see, 30 feet from him?
I don't know, but, well, I mean, like... I can right here. As long as I can, as long as he's within 30 feet from me, that's all I worry about. And... I would like to cast Compel Duel on him.
Interesting.
Yep. They must make a wisdom saving throw.
I mean, he is very old. He might have some good wisdom.
Matt.
Matthew?
I think you muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was asking what the DC was.
Oh, it's 14.
Alright, he rolled a 22.
Yes, okay.
Well, he is a wise turtle.
Still have disadvantage from the heat metal, or
I think that only applies to attacks made with that item.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Yeah, if it doesn't drop it has a disadvantage. If it doesn't drop the object, it has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. This is a saving throw, so that wouldn't matter anyway. And even if it did, he dropped the trident.
Yeah.
okay.
But that was my bonus action. Let's see my action now.
You could move another 5 feet, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I believe your movement speed is probably, what, 30?
Yeah, maybe I could. Yeah. But I wouldn't be up.
If you want to whack him with the sword.
I can't though. He's at 30 feet in the air.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I didn't do it. Okay. I guess that's a bonus action. I guess I will also dodge as my action.
Okay.
And that.
I wish there was an action where you could, like, fortify.
Fortify.
I mean, that's kind of dodging.
Like if you have, like, a shield, you, like, raise your shield and it, like, increases your AC on the next attack.
I mean, dodging kind of does. You could technically reword it to do that kind of deal. Like you're more defensive, so it's hard to hit you.
Interesting.
Because dodge just gives you disadvantage, so or gives the.
Also,
them
I feel like
disadvantage.
it's been so long since I've had a natural 20. What the fuck, dice?
'Tis not in your favor.
If I would have rolled a natural 20 on that fatal shot, I would have probably jumped up.
All right.
Because a natural 20 has to hit, regardless of their AC.
Yep. Paul, you try to compel him into a magical duel, but he resists. But as you raise your shield and go on the defensive, he kind of looks down to you and gives you a smile. And I suppose I am being very impolite, aren't I? Would you prefer I fight you more directly?
Well, that would make things easier, but that's up to you, I guess.
He considers and looks to the twins, looks to the rest of you, and kind of gives a nod. Very well. Paul, is that the end of your turn?
Yep.
All right, top of the round, Imamu. He leaps down back into the pit to land in front of you, Paul. Actually, he's going to land between you and the twins. And unfurls those two fans he's carrying and gives you a smile, Paul, as you and the twins both prepare to dodge him. And very well then. On guard! And he is going to attack in either direction and basically split his attacks evenly between the two of you. But because he is flanked, he will have disadvantage.
Well, he had disadvantage anyways because we're both dodging.
Mm-hmm.
Double disadvantage.
Yeah.
Roll 4 dice and take the lowest.
That would be like quadruple disadvantage or triple disadvantage or something.
Alright. That's cocked. Still cocked. There we go. Alright. We will start supplanting the high rolls with the low rolls. And 2 more to see if he can go any lower. Indeed he can. All right.
So long he actually keeps this up.
I believe that was right. All right. Paul, for each of the attacks directed at you, his lowest was a 28. Does that hit you?
Yes.
All right.
So he's gonna hit every attack, so we gotta just try to beat him quickly.
But, or maybe he rolled very high.
He probably just has good modifiers.
Okay, that, I mean, I figure he does too. I'm just saying maybe he rolled like 15s and such, then roll any lower than 15.
All right. All right, Paul, you take 28 piercing damage. You all watch as Imamu gives Paul a polite bow, almost like a duelist who has accepted a challenge, which technically he is. And as he unfurls his fans, he launches himself at Paul. And despite Paul being completely prepared for him, you watch as Imamu literally just with one fan pushes the shield to the side and slices up Paul's face with the other. Paul, you try to bring down your sword to parry. He grabs it in between the hilt of the fan, shoves it down, and slices up your arm. 2 slices across your belly, and with this rapid flurry of movement, turns to now direct his attention to the twins.
His damage is pretty reasonable. I trust the DM, and I give the DM credit. It's like I can see the light.
And then the remaining disadvantage rolls. Whew! Disadvantage saved you from a crit there. All right.
That is the good thing about disadvantage. It pretty much guarantees you're not going to get a crit.
Or
Alright.
you can get that special armor, or anti-mate armor. That's perfect. I'd love to get that.
Like, his damage doesn't seem too bad. His hits are good. He's got those good modifiers. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a tough fight.
Alright, Flower and Fall take 25 piercing damage.
And we're gonna be saying afterwards, he had us in the first half, not gonna lie.
You watch as he does the same thing to the twins. Every attempt to block or parry is completely undone with just his sheer speed, as he is completely unrelenting in his onslaught. And let's see. Is there anyone within range for that? Yeah. Yeah. Paul, he gives the two of you a bow as you all are like stumbling and covered in cuts, and he vanishes into smoke and reappears between a Vaben and a Sari and twirls his fans, seeming almost excited for the chance of a duel. He gives the two of you a bow, and it seems like he could do more, but he's gonna let you guys go.
Okay, so it's my turn now.
Yep, you're up. Sorry,
Alright.
on deck.
I'm going to use Zephyr Strike, which is a spell I cast on myself,
Okay.
which is I move like the wind. My movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. And I can also add 1d8 to my next hit, and regardless of, or my next attack, and regardless if I hit or miss, I also have an additional 30 feet of movement.
Okay. Now, bear in mind, those are both this and Hunter's Mark are both concentration, so you have to pick one to maintain.
Wow, what's even the point of having all these spells if I can only use one at a time?
That's the problem with Rangers, is they have a lot of like con spells.
Yeah, it's a thing a lot of spellcasters have to deal with. Like one of my characters whose whole thing is familiar summons. Yeah, I can only maintain one familiar at a time.
Okay, Zephyr Strike's more pressing.
Alright. So you cast Zephyr Strike. You do not provoke opportunity
attacks. Does it cost
attacks.
extra movement to go up?
It depends on the circumstances, but basically you can attempt to jump, and that will be included in your movement as essentially, essentially it's its own sort of category that your movement feeds into. So,
this might help in some situation, but did he just Misty Step? Curiosity? Was that a Misty Step?
He doesn't have Misty Step, remember, Drow don't have that.
Oh, I thought that's what he did for...
No, he's talking about the captain.
I'm talking about the captain, just Misty Step, yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't Misty Step. He just has an ability that lets him do that.
So how much extra movement does it cost to go up?
High jump. You jump into the air equal 3 plus your strength modifier, which is none.
Oh, fuck that. If it involves strength, then no go.
It's called climbing, if you're trying to say that you want to climb up.
Yeah, there are chains you can climb. You would just have to get to one of the corners.
So like this?
Well, it doesn't have to be that corner in particular, but yeah, essentially.
And there's one closer over here.
Okay.
And this one would be the closest.
And then the chain, how much movement would the chains count as?
You would just be climbing at that point, so it would be, if you wanted to climb up the entire chain and then get up to the top, I believe, let me double check.
Is it 1-to-1?
No, I believe unless you have a climbing speed, it's half, so it would take you 60 feet of movement to reach all the way to the top.
Okay, so that's not happening either.
Is there difficult terrain?
Is this a blocker?
Yes, that is cover. All of the cover and terrain isn't changed, it's just that this part of the terrain is lower beneath the ship now than the rest of the arena.
Wait, so would this block my shot?
No, it would. It's essentially just cover. It's like one of those little palisades. Like you would have cover, but you could still see him and shoot at him.
Okay, so I could be like over here, and I could still just shoot straight at him.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. That is going to be 50 feet with that spell. I can do that.
All right.
And then we're going to use our bow to shoot him. And we're going to put the Zephyr Strike on it.
Has he used his reaction yet?
I do not.
Oh yeah, it's true. You don't fuck up too.
Zephyr Strike means I don't get up. He doesn't get opportunity attacks.
Yeah, and once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack before your turn.
What?
I'm looking at Zephyr Strike. Once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack roll on your turn. This attack deals an extra 1d8 force damage, whether you hit or miss.
Oh, okay. And it does additional 1d8 damage. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay. You ready your shot as you speed across the arena, bounding over cover, over the palisade, and as you reach the rattling chain that's keeping all of you under the ship, you turn and loose an arrow at him. Roll with advantage.
Yeah, I don't want to use an explosive one because the sorry's right the fuck there. Alright, so that's going to be... hang on, I gotta do some math here. That's going to be a 27.
Alright. Vaben, you pull back your arrow and loose, and he gives a smile and deflects it out of the way.
I'm not winning this fight by beating him, I can tell you that. It's going to be something's going to happen.
We'll see.
Because I don't know who has a better modifier than that.
We'll see.
And we'll shoot again.
Alright.
What arrow did Ivan use when he just shot him?
Regular, he didn't want to hit Asari with an explosive.
That's not gonna hit.
Alright. Vaben, you shoot and he dances out of the way.
We're not winning this fight by beating him. Something's gonna happen. He's got something planned.
Alright.
Because that is literally impossible to hit. You'd have to nat 20.
Asari, you're up. Greylog and Paul on deck. Oh, blindness. Okay. Do you have blindness? I'm looking at your spell list. I don't see it.
They really have got to find a way to get D&D Beyond. I can't look at it.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. I don't see blindness anywhere.
I know, it was like...
blindness, deafness. Is that how I missed it?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not just blindness, yeah. It's there. Second level.
Spells.
Wait,
yes,
hold on.
blindness and deafness, second level, first one.
Okay, I see what happened. Asari, for the future, please do not change your spells mid-fight unless you had a way to do that. I'd had your sheet pulled up from the start, so I didn't see it on your list because it wasn't prepared.
Well, not only that, you're not supposed to change your spells.
So please don't do that anymore.
We talked about this. Sorcerers, only certain classes can prepare spells. Sorcerers, once you pick your spells, that's it. I think you could change your like one or two spells.
Yeah, I think you can change them on your level ups, but not on just regular.
Yeah, only like clerics, paladins, I think druids, right? Could do that. Although everyone else is just, well, no, I guess wizards can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hell no, why do I have magical sleep?
Magical sleep. You talking about the sleep spell?
No, it's like showing it on my defenses now. It didn't do that before.
No, it must have been added. Because, yeah, you have that as an elf as well. And no worries, I'll allow it, just, yeah, bear in mind, you cannot change your spell, so please stop doing that. Alright, a con save from Mr. Imamu. That's a success. On a success, the spell ends, so yeah, nothing happens. Asara, you cast blindness, and he just smiles and bows and dances, and as he turns back to you, his eyes still function, and he gives you a smile. And let's see, before the other's turn comes up, he is going to, as a legendary action, do patient defense to take the dodge action.
Oh, wow.
Greylog and Paul, you're up. You can go whichever order you wish. I'll be deciding for the twins.
I'm good with either one of us going first. It doesn't really matter.
Alright, well, if there's no preference, I'm going to go ahead and have the twins go, just because I already know what they're going to do. They're going to move into range, summon the Echo, fall flies into battle, and... believe it's just that they can channel attacks through it. Yes, yeah. Okay.
They can also make attacks from it with using that little invocation.
Okay. So, with that in mind, they're going to take a swing, and this is going to be at disadvantage because he's dodging. Oh boy. Drop my dice. Alright. Fall swings and swings, and the captain continues to just dance and dodge, bowing beneath every attack, with these, like, fluid motions that almost seem bored with the fight.
Yeah, we're pretty much just waiting on the next plot point.
Paul, since Greylog doesn't care either way, do you wish to go?
I trust the DM, so I know he's got something up his sleeve.
I would like for him to stop attacking my teammates, because, yeah. Fuck you. I guess I will... You know what? I'm gonna go over here because he's probably gonna freaking teleport. So stay within a certain margin.
Okay.
Actually, what Greylog? What are you doing?
Where is his icon?
What do you mean, Greylog?
The captain.
Yes. No, icon.
Right here.
Greylog's not even on the map. Oh, there he is.
Bottom right. Bottom right. He's like, you just. Real low.
Why is he all the way the fuck over there?
Because he wants to stay far away from, I think, his control.
Yeah, he wanted to keep his distance. The captain's an intimidating foe.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose? Sorry, but what are you doing, Greylog?
Yeah. All right, Greylog, you've been given the initiative. What do you wish to do?
Okay, so. What is his fans made out of?
It appears to be cloth with metal linings.
Okay, perfect. And is it a bonus action or is it an action in order to have my fire spirit help?
It is a bonus action to command them. It's just an action to summon them.
Okay, so I'm going to use my action to heat metal 3rd level on the fan in his hand.
Okay.
then I'm going to have my Fire Spirit Boy use, I think it's called Fire Seed.
Yep. All right. First, 3d8 fire damage from heat metal. All right, that's 9 fire damage.
Honestly. Wow. Hunter's Mark is not even worth casting at a higher level.
I don't think can you?
Yeah, you can, but all it does is 1 hour is like plenty of time for most fights in D&D. 8 hours is just excessive.
The idea is that you use it if you're essentially like chasing a target over a long distance.
Yeah. In a fight, okay, so I'll amend my statement. In a fight, it's pretty pointless, but out of a fight, it can be pretty useful.
Well, that's a lot of ranger spells.
Yeah, that's like Rangers' whole gimmick is that they're good at like tracking and like a lot of out of character stuff.
Yeah,
this
so,
is why I'm
he-
going to be multi-classing. I think next level I was going to multi-class, right?
I believe that was the plan. All right. He takes 9 fire damage from heat metal, but he succeeds the con save, so he's not forced to drop it. And your flame spirit, flame seed, ranged weapon attack. It is not melee range, so this will not be made a disadvantage. And he's already used up his dodge action, so. Your fire spirit launches a fireball at the captain, and to your surprise, he sees it coming. He clearly has time to dodge, but he actually waits and lets it make impact. Your fire spirit does the max damage, 9 fire damage, and you watch as the captain kind of clicking
I think I see where he's going with this.
flaming metal fans in his hands. He is going to, as a reaction, use deflect missiles.
Oh.
Yep, I was making sure I had the right dice. And I don't know why I did that, because I don't. There we go. Oh. Okay. Alright. He holds up the fans, but you do see him. He's not invincible. He's wincing a little bit as he holds up the fans. And while he does manage to...
Sans. He has like... he's like Sans. Not a lot of health, but dodges everything.
Yeah. And indeed... when he uses deflect missiles, you can see he was intending to catch it and sling it at Asari next to him, perhaps somebody else in the battlefield, but he ends up having to expend so much effort to hold the flaming metal tongs that while he does slow the projectile down, it does still connect. So he ended up getting cocky and allowing himself to take unnecessary damage.
I see what you're putting down, DM. I see it. I see the light.
It's like that.
This is why I warned you guys to not lose hope just because the fight seems hard.
Yeah, like because he has just because he has high armor doesn't mean he has high saving throws. So some people have.
And even if he did, like as mentioned, crits are guaranteed to hit no matter what, and there are spells that just circumvent even saving throws and just do damage. He is.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the party's fight, because Avaben has none of that shit. This is going to be the party's fight to win, because Avaben's useless.
Well, yeah, everyone has their benefits that they're good at. Like, I have nothing against that, but I can be good at keeping him distracted, possibly.
Yeah. I guess Avaben's just praying for crits. But, you know, that's how it goes in D&D sometimes. There ain't no main character, you know, sometimes the rest of the party's got to win the fight.
All right.
Well, I knew there was gonna be something, because it's like, if this guy, like, I knew there had to be, I knew there was something, because I know Matthew's a good DM, so I know he wasn't gonna make us do something impossible, so I knew there was some way we were gonna win this fight. It just wasn't gonna be by straight up just roll to win. It's gonna be like we gotta find some kind of weakness. Or
No, yeah, I always do that with my boss fights. I like to make my boss fights puzzles in a way.
Instead of just, alright, let's see who racks up the most damage first. Which is how most D&D fights go. It's literally just who can rack up the most damage.
Mm-hmm.
Certain
Yeah,
areas,
I like to encourage strategy. Anyway, Greylog, is that the end of your turn?
That's it. That's it.
Alright, Paul, you're up.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna try to keep him more distracted. I'm gonna go about right here. Still within range. Just barely. I'll go right here. And I'm gonna cast again as a bonus action, Compel Duel.
Alright, wisdom save.
Yeah.
Oof.
All my spells are concentration.
Yeah.
Does a 13 save?
Just barely doesn't make it.
Concentration.
Okay, he's gonna use legendary resistance to succeed.
Yeah.
I thought he could only use legendary actions at the end of the turn.
No, that's legendary resistance, where basically boss monsters, if they fail a save, they can just say, no I don't, and succeed it.
What? Wait, he uses legendary resistance, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he can only do that so many times, so every
I know.
time you force him to use it, that's one less time he can use it in the rest of the fight.
Yeah, I get that part.
And that's probably like a one boss ability I probably wouldn't use, because like, man,
No,
it feels kind of cheap.
No, hey, speaking as somebody who's been DMing for years, you have to. Your boss monsters will be a joke if you don't use that.
Yeah, you could literally have a situation where you beat the boss in one turn.
Yeah, like, think about it. If Greylog had pulled off that polymorph earlier, like, that could have just basically, in theory, ended the fight right there. There wouldn't have even been a boss fight.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other ways to deal with something like that. Like, there are magic resistances and stuff.
Well, there's resistances, but I mean, sometimes.
And there's like immunities and stuff. Like
the polymorph, not. I don't think there is.
There's no immunity that applies to polymorph.
Only specific monsters have it. I think constructs are the only monsters that are
Well, you're the
immune to
DM. You can give your bosses whatever the fuck you want them to have.
it. Well, yes, but and to be fair, is it not effectively the same? Like, you're either making it immune to the specific things your party are going to do, or you give them temporary immunity so that they last a few rounds.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul, anything else besides Compel Duel?
I'd at least want to see if I couldn't find some other ways around it before I
feel free.
Yeah, you could do like a rule 0, like, oh, this monster just has that generally, but it's just kind of like, well, yeah, okay. I guess I need to. I'm gonna use my action, right? I'm pretty sure it's an action. Let's see. Yep. As an action, I will use Sacred Weapon. My sword will light up. Yes.
All right.
Well, it's good to know that Fatal Shot was fated to fail. Does that work on crits too? Like, or does a crit negate that?
Well, it wouldn't matter because a legendary resistance only applies to saving throws, not attack rolls.
Oh, okay.
Well, it counts as only spells.
So basically,
I'm sure Matthew had a plan for Fatal Shot.
Basically, if you had crit, you wouldn't have gotten the guaranteed fatality, but he still would have taken the 10d10 force.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So yeah, that was his answer. He's like, okay, so I know Hunter's probably going to try to win this fight in one attack.
Hey, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, like, why wouldn't I? So he's like, okay, so we're going to give him this to make sure he doesn't get removed instantly.
This is why I told you guys so confidently that I didn't think the Forge Cast Pistol was overpowered.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because the DM can just give... Basically, the DM decides who is affected by it and who is not.
More or less. Yeah, anything else, Paul?
Nope, that's it. He makes his sword glow.
All right. Your sword begins to gleam with holy power as your loyalty to your oath surges through your veins. Top of the round, Imamu. Let's see. He kind of grimaces, looking down at his burning fans, and just lets the one that Greylog hit drop to the side, keeping one as it slides up his sleeve. And you can see him look to you, Greylog, in the corner, and kind of give you a smile. And, well, I'll give you credit for effort. And he is going to lash out with his remaining fan at Asari. Asari, you take... yeah, okay. You take 23 piercing damage. All right. Paul, you watch as... Yep, I saw. You watch as Imamu presses the tip of the non-burning fan to Asari's chest before lashing it upwards with just the blunt force of the metal, and Asari falls unconscious. And now that he's made a martial arts attack, he's going to blink step.
Yeah, I figured he was gonna get away.
And reappear in front of you, Greylog. And continuing his statement from earlier where he appraised you for the effort. They taught me a technique at the monastery. Death by 1,000 cuts. And he's going to use his once a day 1,000 cuts ability.
That dude.
Brutal. Like, sounds brutal.
He doubles the amount of attacks he can make this turn.
Does losing one of his fans reduce some of his attacks?
And technically no, because like he wasn't actually attacking with both of them anyway. It was just like flavoring it, kind of like how like whenever you dual wield swords, you have to use one as a bonus action. So it's effectively he's making double attacks against Greylog specifically, since Greylog has found the one way to consistently damage him.
It's like, man, get that with action surge and just having a lot of attacks. You're a monk.
Well, yeah, he is a monk.
Doesn't he have disadvantage on his attacks?
Well, is he still holding on to
because
that?
Of the
he dropped the one that he was holding, but he had two. Remember?
He seems to understand your magic as well as you do.
I mean, yeah, he's been watching you guys' fights. Also, one of his attacks was a crit.
Oh shit! Rip Greylog.
All right. All hit, one crit. Oh, but he rolled 2 nat 1s.
Hey. On his damage rolls?
No, on it, because he was making several extra attacks, and on 2 of the extra attacks he rolled a nat 1.
I wonder what his penalty is going to be for the sin of a nat 1.
I'm actually deciding on that. Okay, I've decided. Given that he nat 1'd, given that he nat 1'd twice, I'm going to say one of the nat 1s is going to circumvent his crit and turn it into a regular hit, and the other one, you'll see what happens. However, that is still many attacks that hit. So let me grab all of my dice here. Yeah, I just have to roll this many twice, so. Yeah, come here, dice. I need you.
only hit him with the bow. That's it.
Okay, and then what is that? Oh, no. And then this many.
I bet he wishes he has what's his health now. Hey, who's this guy?
Huh?
Who's this guy?
Oh, I left that there by mistake.
What?
It was going to be the Swarm Storms token if you ended up actually fighting him, but I forgot to move that to the GM layer. Greylog, as he unleashes Death by 1,000 cuts, you take 190 piercing damage.
Ah.
If he was fucking what's-his that would have downed him.
No, what's this actually would have lived?
How much health does what's-his have?
It's like over 200 now, I think.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Barbarian, and he rolls like the maximum health he can do. Alright, he's away right now.
You said 100 what?
90.
Ah, so he's dead.
Is he dead? Just outright?
Yeah, he did
he's
more than
dead.
double his health.
He's just dead.
Shit. Well, shit. Somebody tell him that his character is dead.
Resurrection spells are a thing.
Well, I guess we could go get a doctor.
Yeah, he dies instantly.
He's the only one that actually has Revivify, I believe.
Yep. Not wrong.
Yeah, he's the one who has the revive spell.
Not wrong. There are doctors you can get to do
Yeah, there are doctors on the ship, but you have to win the fight to get them. As the captain unleashes Death by 1,000 cuts, you all watch as he starts basically rapidly appearing and reappearing. Greylog, you realize he's literally moving so fast that you can't even see him coming in time to dodge him. This was the whirling dervish who fought his way through a tournament and took the place of Nitro as captain, who earned the respect of the pirate lords. And as he slices all around you, you guys watch as it's not even that he's cutting deeply, he's just cutting so many times as tiny nicks and scratches run up Greylog's body, slowly working their way up to the neck before finally slash across the cheek, and Paul, you watch as he reappears, shuts the fan so that it's more blunt with the metal, and lunges towards Greylog and hits him in the center of the head so hard that the metal of the fan snaps. But while he broke his remaining fan, Greylog falls, and unlike Asari, isn't breathing.
Can I say one thing before I go down?
Of course. I always try to give my party members last words.
Fatality.
As he goes down, he's going to look at the others and say, "Don't give up. Keep going. Magic is your best bet, because otherwise you won't hit him." And then he goes out.
The metal fan makes impact and shatters.
And that also means his spirit boy goes, he fizzles out.
Greylog's fire spirit fizzles into nothing, and Greylog falls dead.
So, question, DM.
Answer.
So, because he's dead, he can't take damage from, like, splash. And it's not going to affect his revival, right?
In theory, it could.
I was like, that depends what the revival spell, because he still needs a body.
Yeah, his body needs to be there for them to revive. If he's reduced to mush, there's not really...
I still can't use my explosive arrows.
Hey, he said don't give up, keep going. That means pretty much free reign, do whatever you want. He's dead. He doesn't care anymore. He is now in the service of Hela.
Well, you're not within range. It's just him, but yeah.
And with his movement, he's going to run back to where he started. And with his trident abandoned and his fans both no longer at his disposal, he runs, and as he skids to a stop, Asari, you watch as he smiles to you with what you
down, aren't they?
Yeah, Asari's down.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because they're still making saving throws. So they turn to look at the three of you and pick up their fan, which is no longer burning since Greylock's concentration has gone out, and levels it as they open it and start to kind of playfully fan at themselves. There's still time for you to walk away. I can get your friends to doctors. We can forget all of this ever happened.
I'm guessing a Vaven would have to shout with how far away he is.
Of course, but we can like do stage shout.
You're not just gonna let us walk away. We know what you do with people who lose.
He kind of stares at you contemplatively, kind of gives a sigh, and if you insist.
I mean, he... It's such a dumbass response. Literally, just like, it's like he didn't even hear what Avaven said.
He has his responses, so... Now it's Avaven's turn.
Yep, Avaven, you're up. Sorry, you're on deck to make a save.
That's the image, right? The one that doesn't actually take damage?
Yeah. Well, it does take damage, but
yeah.
Flower can just resummon them.
Okay.
Also, if you're doing an explosive, you will hit.
What's the explosive's range?
Well, you don't know. Well, you actually don't know yet.
This is a new arrow.
We blew up dynamite before.
Well,
assuming the dynamite is the same range as the previous times you've used it, the explosion radius is 5 feet in all directions. So you will damage fall, and you will cause Asari to automatically fail a death save.
Asari's still fucking there.
Yeah, I moved them so that like there would be reduced confusion, but yes.
That confused me more.
Yeah, so they'll automatically fail a death save, but
okay, so that's not an option. Does Hail of Thorns hit an area too?
Let me check.
I think so. I think it's just yeah, you hit one time.
They said magic, like saves.
The target, yeah, it hits the target of the attack and each creature within 5 feet.
Oh, it does. Well, it's like.
Literally can't use anything I prepared for this.
Yeah.
So why did he have to be a melee fighter? I've noticed that Avavenses have a severe weakness, and that he can't use a bunch of his stuff. Like there's like a bunch of things he has that he can't use if they're a melee fighter because he'll hit his own team. That disregard for his other teammates is coming back to bite him in the ass. Well, then I guess I'll do the only thing I can do. Shoot him with a regular arrow.
Alright.
Or miss him with a regular arrow, let's be frank.
Now you might crit.
Nope. Nope.
Alright.
You might as well just skip my turns.
Well, I need to check if you crit.
Well, you're then. What is your modifier for hitting, if I might ask?
Plus 10. I rolled an 18 and I rolled an 18, which would be a 28, which I know misses. Wait, no. Wait, I rolled a 17 before, didn't I?
I believe so. Although, yes, a 28 still misses.
Fuck! I literally have to crit.
What about 19 though?
I have a feeling it's not going to be some weird number like 29. Like,
I
Matthew's
mean,
too deliberate in his design. It's going to be designed that you have to crit him, is what I'm getting.
Believe it or not, technically no. It's just because he's such a high-level monk that his like natural AC is just really, really high. That being said, sorry.
Literally might
Okay,
as well
ready
skip my
to
turn.
roll.
I don't
what
roll
would
crits. I
happen.
never get crits. I'm not lucky. I'm an unlucky individual. If you see my life, you would know that.
Sorry. Roll a death save, and what memory flashes before your eyes as you lie bleeding out on the ground?
Not great.
No,
I
you're good.
rolled a 6.
What?
Alright, that's one failure.
Wait,
You-
you rolled 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I see you on D&D Beyond. You made a roll a minute ago. I thought that was your death save.
So
What? You said you. I mean,
it says.
I see
It
13.
says D20
Yeah, I see
and it says
13.
6. Hang on, let me show you.
I think your D&D Beyond is wrong. It's 2 against 1.
Let's play shiny.
I don't know. This is what I see though.
Alright.
Alright. Sorry.
So as we try to figure that out, in Asari's memory,
You
she
did it
just
to
has
self.
a very. Pardon?
Yeah,
did it
we
to
couldn't
self.
see your roll because you showed it only to yourself, so that's why we got confused.
Oh.
So yeah, you're good. Yeah, that's
there's
one
2
failed
rolls.
Okay.
That's one failed
Sorry
death
about
save.
that. I'll try
So-
to fix my settings.
No worries.
So
Yeah,
in Asari's memory, she and her mother and father are at a theater, and she is seeing her first Cirque du Soleil performance, which kind of like inspired her showboating.
Asari, as your visage of the arena around you fades, you recall the circus. Something that this current situation reminds you of if the ringmaster was a demented maniac. And as your consciousness begins to leave you and your life begins to slip away, Greylog is dead, and while you've managed to land some good hits on the captain, he's not slowing down.
Is he even bloodied?
No. And as your life begins to slip away, you slowly lose consciousness thinking of the circus. You swear already you can see the people leaping from the tight ropes above you as everything fades to black.
Yeah, interestingly enough, my first Cirque du Soleil was about Icarus, so I kind of want to have like the same thing for Asari.
Sure. A performance of the tale of Icarus and the angel ascending into the sun is the last thing you see before you fade to consciousness. Paul, you and the twins are up.
Okay, what is the twin gonna do?
Well, seeing that as they're already pretty close to him, they're going to move to flank, and both are going to attack. You watch as the twins swing axe and blade at the captain, but as they do so, the captain just continues to parry, dodge, and dance, and is just kind of impassively moving as they go. Paul, you're up.
Man, he's not even fucking bloodied. We can't even. The guy who was able to hit him is dead.
Like, if you want to hit him with a fucking explosive arrow, do it. Like, it's fine. You know, like Greylog said, Asari would want, you know, them to, you know, kill the guy.
All right, Paul, what are you gonna do?
Because I already have an idea what he's gonna do next if I do this. If I go up to him. I worry for our friend over here that's alone in the corner. Alright, I guess I'm gonna go attack him.
Alright. Paul throwing caution to the wind, you run, sword drawn, gleaming with celestial power, and strike at the captain.
Hope he has a good modifier or good luck.
Oh, he's not particularly good at that, so... He doesn't,
Hopefully you have good luck.
I was like, he doesn't have more modifier than you. Like, you think you have the highest out of all of us.
And I can't hit him.
Well, yep, I will swing. 'Tis a 24.
That's a miss, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I almost got a natural 20. One off. Now, I know, like, I'm assuming flanking only counts to those, like, side to side, right?
Yeah, and even if it, you would have to be directly across from them, and Asari's unconscious. So
I knew Asari was unconscious. I knew it didn't count. I just didn't know, like, he was flanked in general, so that counted towards me getting as well. But all right, well, I guess keep doing my spells. You know, compel duel.
all right. Wisdom save. Does a 17 succeed?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else on your turn?
Tis not all like that's all like. Wait, do I have bonus action? Oh wait, I'll attack again. I have 2 actions. Or attack per action. Did not realize that. Oof, but nope. Tis no good.
All right. You swing.
If he does teleport next to Avaven's gonna say something before he attacks.
Okay. Top of the round, as Asari loses consciousness, and Greylog lies dead. Imamu, dodging out of the way of the twins and Paul and Avaven's arrows, opens his beak like he's going to say something, only for a shout to be heard overhead. A familiar voice to all of you down in the pit. Hey, you guys okay?
No.
Okay, what do I do?
I don't know.
You know, do we have a doctor nearby?
Oh, dude, I can go get one.
That would be obviously help, but one of our teammates seem to need a doctor.
Yeah, one of our teammates are dead. The other one is about to be.
You can see Benny kind of leans over, and you can see Mamu look up, and this doesn't concern you, Swarmstorm. Walk away. I'm afraid I can't do that, Mr. Captain. He kind of thinks for a moment before shaking his head and just, very well. And he is going to, holding out his hands, he hits Greylog with a string of webbing and pulls him out of the pit and catches him and falls out of sight. And as Greylog is slung out of your range of vision, you hear Benny's voice from out of the pit. All right, I'll take him to a doctor. Well, what should I tell everyone else?
Help.
Hell, Nitro, this is not going well. Help would be appreciated.
All right. Well, I mean, you guys heard him, and you all hear shouts and cheers as fighters arrive to reinforce you.
Matthew had this ready in case this fight went very bad.
Well, actually, no, I didn't. You guys did.
But yeah, he's saying because we made a goal to tell them all and make sure. Yeah.
Good thing we told people. 'Cause I knew it was going to be a plot thing. Because I know my DM. I know our DM is good. I know he's got us.
Fair, but I can't take credit for this one. You guys earned this.
Well, I mean, good on the DM to keep it in mind, you know?
Oh no, I appreciate it. I was just more. I more don't want to take all the credit. You all hear cheers, and Imamu kind of sighs and looks to those of you who are still conscious and alive. Do you have any idea what you've done?
Trying to put an end to whatever it is you're doing here? Because it's certainly not running a tournament.
A man can multitask, can't he?
Well, it's not solely running a tournament.
He kind of grimaces, and gives a whistle that echoes around the arena from his beak. And... Mates! Hoist us out of here! And, Paul, those movements you've been seeing from the shadow during the fight by the glow of your sword, you watch as other figures begin to step onto the pit of the arena, weapons at the ready. You can see a variety of unfortunates. People from presumably just around Plundan that Imamu decided was a tasty target. And they all, with weapons drawn, but with calmness, start stepping onto the platform as presumably a crew stationed somewhere prepares to hoist you guys out. And top of the round, but every round you guys are going to move closer to the top. Or not every round, every turn.
I'm assuming that the magic he's using to control them centers on him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, centers on him and that band he's wearing.
Alright. Raven's gonna have to do something drastic.
Paul, he looks to you, and you can see he is actually starting to get a little off-put. He's out, and he's getting progressively outnumbered, and you guys aren't giving up, but neither is he. This is a man who's determined to be remembered. He's already used up Death of 1,000 Cuts, so he's going to make his usual round of attacks against you.
Okay.
That is 2 nat 20s.
Oh my
dead.
god.
I might be dead.
Can you use those? Could you have used those dice for freaking Greylog?
I have been using those dice for Greylock.
Damn. Fate is really trying to ruin this.
Like, Pearl's probably down just for one crit, I'll be honest with you.
Let's find out. 2, 3, 4, 8, 12. And then the crits.
Yeah.
18.
So I have...
I have to do a little bit of math here.
as long as it's not higher than 92. Or 92 or higher. So you
Alright.
can make sure.
If it's 92 or higher, you're down?
No, I'm dead.
Oh.
I'm just straight dead if it's 92 or higher.
right, and because he has he has brutal critical, so he's going to roll some additional dice as well.
Oh my.
He's got barbarian levels too. Ooh.
Apparently he has every class.
He hasn't cast any spells yet.
Yet.
He has all the fighter class type of things. Well, actually, he hasn't used action search, so he has all like the melee combat besides fighter. It seems.
All right. Okay. Paul, you take 45 piercing damage.
Okay.
You're down?
'Tis correct.
Avaben, you watch as the captain charges Paul and with a flurry of fan strikes. Again, while it's not a true death of 1,000 cuts, Paul is still whittled down, and again, it seems like Imamu's starting to get angry
Raven is not
because
doing that drastic thing. He's not getting anywhere near that motherfucker.
as he rakes his fan up Paul's armor, you watch as once it makes impact, it again, similar to how it had with Greylog, shatters.
He might have to.
And he stumbles back, almost seeming surprised at himself, as Paul falls unconscious after a moment's delay.
Raven's just like, we're really gonna need that help.
You move 5 feet higher into the sky, making your way up to the top of the pit where reinforcements are waiting for you. Avaben, what do you do?
Alright, so he summoned some kind of magic reinforcement, right?
Yeah, he has the fighters he's keeping hostage down here stepping onto the pit. They're not attacking anyone yet. It seems like he's mostly having them focus on backing him up.
Good, it's an action. Okay, so we can do this. If we get lucky.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use Zephyr Strike again to get the extra movement speed.
Okay.
So that I can... Shit. Okay, good.
You're casting Zephyr Strike again?
Yeah, so I can get that bonus movement speed again.
Like, because if you as long as you didn't use
It ends at the end of your turn, that bonus movement speed.
Well, it ends at the that's how it, I think how it works is that when you shoot, you get a bonus to your speed. Like,
No, it's until the spell ends, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack roll. That attack deals extra damage. Whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases by 30 feet until the end of that turn. So
But
the only thing he still has at this point is the lack of opportunity attack. But he's recasting it because he wants that extra speed.
Because I need it to get... Hang on, how close do I need to be
okay.
to use this spell? Okay, I actually don't need to do that. Because this spell magic has a range of 120 feet. So you know what? I take it back.
Okay.
But I am gonna move closer, but I don't need to get right up next to him. I'm gonna try to get closer though. So I can go there. So that I'm not all alone. Is that 30 feet away? Yeah, that's 30 feet away. And then I'm going to try to dispel his magic. That is creating his reinforcements.
Okay.
Okay, try to dispel the amulet,
Let's see, so...
the headpiece.
So I have to make a roll. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Okay, noted.
So what do I need to make?
Okay. Hang on, double checking to make sure this is right.
Because the highest level spell is 9th, right?
Yeah.
So at worst it's going to be a 19, so I'm expecting it to be a 19.
I'm actually double checking what it is. No, actually, it's an 18.
There.
Okay, we still need an amazing roll, but...
Yeah, it's a god item.
All right. Yes! I got an 18.
Okay.
Does meat beat?
Yeah, meat beats. Meat always beats.
Yes!
And,
God, I hope this works how I think it will.
Be casting on his headband, assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Try and dispel the magic that's creating its reinforcements.
Make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. Okay.
And plus I would get a bonus, right? For my
Bonus?
spellcasting thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a bonus in there.
Let's see, choose any spell to... Ability check using your spellcasting ability. So yeah, I would get a modifier.
So yeah, you definitely beat it then.
That'd be a dirty 20.
Yeah, you're good. Even if it had been a 9th level spell, you would have been good.
We only went to one round basically. They're coming up though.
Vaben, considering your options as your list of allies begins to gradually grow thin, you hold out a hand and finally do what you had been planning to do, and cast Dispel Magic. You feel this...
hang on, let me see. What are the components to Dispel Magic?
There's no components. It was verbal and somatic, basically.
Yeah, so you just have to move your hands and say something.
So, I guess as a verbal, he'll just say, Dispel.
Alright. As you
and
say
he wants
this...
to make sure the captain hears him say that.
The captain, their long turtly neck cranes up, and their eyes go wide. And you feel this burning heat through your fingers as you literally battle against the god of the sun for control of the item. But you dispel it. There's this as the sunlight that the hat had been giving off goes out. And all of the fighters that are creeping like zombies onto the platform kind of go limp and fall. And Imamu, for the first time, seems truly, truly panicked as he looks around.
Your free army is gone. And so is your ability to take control of people.
What have you done?
And now you're outnumbered. And the brethren know what you've done. You have no escape now. You should just give up now.
He looks to you with a glare. Make an intimidation check.
Intimidation check. Okay, I have no modifier to that. Natural 20!
He glares. The two of you have this like tense stare down as you gradually are lifted away from Imamu's army as they fall limp on the outskirts of the pit. And you can hear your friends in the minor league cheering as they wait for you to get close enough for them to jump in and assist you. Imamu seems to kind of consider his options before he dips into a scowl. And... well played, Divine Five. Underdog. It appears I've been outsmarted. He gives you a bow. But I'm not going to be forgotten that quickly. I'll see you in round 2. And he's going to legendary action, Step of the Wind, and run and leap out of the pit and out of sight. Avaben, as the only player
curiosity. Out of curiosity, would you say that, like, dispelling that high level of a magic might have been kind of draining?
Yeah, it definitely was intense, and you, like I said, you felt like a burning in your hands.
Avaben just kind of falls to his knees.
Avaben, you fall to your knees and as your other than the twins, you both kind of, as the Flower and Fall, busy themselves with looking over Asari and Paul.
And he's, since we're out of combat, he can use actions freely, right?
Yeah, if you don't intend to pursue Imamu, then yes.
Yeah, I think that's good enough for now. Even though we will have to get that item from him at some point. But he's going to use Cure Wounds on the two that are down.
Okay.
Which will use up both his level 1 slots. Well, both his remaining level 1 slots.
Okay. Asari, make me one more death save, since technically you would have done that before Avaben cured. But basically, like, unless...
Did I roll them as separate rolls?
Yeah, just to see how much health they get back. But yeah.
I'll roll 2... Wait, it's D8.
I got a natural 19.
Alright.
Well, you didn't die, so Avaben gets to heal you.
Yeah, like, basically, as long as you didn't nat 1, you were fine.
Alright, so the first one is going to be a total of 10 health, and the second heal is going to be 9 health.
Alright.
Max and second max.
Any preference on who gets what?
You know, he'll be nice. Because Paul can heal himself too. So he'll give the 10 health to Asari and then 9 health to Paul.
Okay.
It says he just like crawls over there, reaches with both hands, and then just bunk.
Asari, what memory flashes before your eyes before you are revived? And since I know, oh, okay, I wasn't sure if you were going to type or talk. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Well, this is yeah, I'll just have the memory of when she graduated college and
what was that doctor's name?
You mean like wait, the professor or her roommate?
Well, I guess they both might be involved in that memory.
So yeah, Anna and Professor Plaster.
I imagine that Anna and Asari maybe had like a small like celebration dinner, like, yeah, we did it. So, you know, something like that.
All right. And Paul, what memory flashes before your eyes as you are resurrected?
This is why Matthew did it. He wants you to think about your characters.
Okay. You recall service and devotion. And Asari, you recall celebration and pride. As Avaben, you clamber your way towards your unconscious allies and heal both of them. Asari, you regain 10 HP. Paul, you regain 9, and you are both conscious.
I'm gonna sit up and look around.
Asari, you are, as the pit closes and you find yourself laying on the arena, blood everywhere. Imamu is gone. but you're surrounded by the minor league, who are like all gathered around you to see if you're all right. The major league fighters, who are talking to each other and looking around, seemingly looking for Imamu, and the champion, who just has his arms crossed and is looking at you all thoughtfully.
Do I see Greylog?
You don't.
He's
The last.
I guess if I even say, because the swarm's taken to find a doctor, right?
Yeah.
The swarm's taking him to one of the healers.
Is he okay?
Well, I think it's just a matter of how long it's gonna take. I dispelled the magic that what's the captain's name, Matthew?
Imamu Merrick.
I dispelled the magic that Amamu was using, and apparently that made him decide to retreat.
Fucking coward.
Honestly, I was trying to get him to run. We weren't going to win that fight, and I don't even know with all their help we could have won that fight.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And on how far he runs, we may have to find another way to figure out the next key until we can find that one again. If he runs completely, or if he's just simply retreating to somewhere on the ship.
If we head back to Plundan, Anna and I can maybe do a little bit more research and see if there's something else that we can do.
That can wait. Worrying about that can wait. You said the other fighters had come down now?
Yeah, well, more that you guys were lifted up to them.
I think we might need another doctor for these two.
The leader of the samurai, in all black, leans down and looks over Asari and Paul and gives a nod. Come on. We'll take him to the infirmary.
Did anyone see exactly where Amamu ran to?
One of the other members of the samurai pipes up. Ran into the stands, fast as the wind. Tried to take a few shots at him, but dodged everything we threw at him. He kind of gives a bit of a shrug and only took about, I'd say, 30 seconds. He kind of gives a grin. The leader of the samurai puts a hand on your shoulder, Paul, and you're in no condition to be tracking anyone.
I'd imagine if Nitro's been able to tell the Brethren, I can't imagine they'll allow him to stay on Plundan after what they find out what he's done. And without his magic, he's not going to be able to take control of them, at least for now. I don't know how long it'll be dispelled for.
On the Pythian Wreath. All right, and it tells you direction.
Because now he can picture it.
And it tells you direction, but not distance, correct? All right. You see that from where you are currently standing, it is the Pythian Wreath is south and moving south fast. The samurai give a nod and we'll spread the word. Let's get you all to a doctor.
Anyone know what's to the south on this ship?
And the other member of the samurai in red, who has yet to speak, kind of nods to you, Avaben, and other arenas, engines. And he looks and kind of knocks against the floor, which it's weird to think that not even a minute ago it had been this like essentially gateway into a whole other room, but now that it's closed again, you can't even see that something had once been there. And there's lots of places to hide. Even the brethren might not find all of them. All the places he could be. The samurai offers you an arm to help you stand and start taking you to the infirmary.
I think it's just kind of. I think it's just gonna say like, not like really towards him, but he is kind of like looking in the champion's direction. I have a feeling the tournament is off.
He kind of gives a hum in thought, and maybe so, little underdog, maybe so. But if the captain's made a run for it, someone's gonna have to take his place.
What are you gonna try to take his place?
He gives you a smirk and, I'm no captain. I'm just here for the fights.
I
guess we'll
would
see what
suggest
happens.
Nitro.
The champion, almost seeming to have expected it, nods, and we'll see if the little man wants it. He kind of stares at all of you for a moment, and after a bit of consideration, turns and, you guys get some rest. We'll see about finding that bastard.
Yeah, you might want to be careful. He's nearly impossible to hit.
Maybe impossible for some, but not for Tamatwa. He gives a flex and a twirl of the Spear of Ares.
Just saying, it would probably be in your interest to not underestimate him.
To your surprise, he pauses and gives a nod, and I'll stay safe, little underdog. You follow your little friends. Make sure you don't have a man down.
And I guess if people will do that.
Greylog.
Oh boy.
They're gonna meet the god of death again.
Not necessarily. Death has consequences, but not necessarily always the same consequences twice. Greylog, by the sheer grace of the fact that you were on Plundan and had warned people what was coming, you will be revived this time. However, do not expect such generosity in the future. It is just the fact that you were near a place that was able and willing to heal you when you went down. But resurrection is not easy. Roll me a d20.
Yep. We're gonna see what horrific malformity he will have.
Let's see. 3.
Ooh, low roll. Yeah, I guess it depends on how Matthew scaled it.
Greylog. The last thing you remember were those words. Death by 1,000 cuts. And then everything went dark. You experienced searing pain and then darkness. As the pirate clerics work to revive you, you feel it again. A mixture of comforting warmth and burning cold. And you look up to see that you are once again face to face with Hela, the goddess of death.
Is Hella like, we have got to stop meeting like this?
Indeed. She kind of smirks as you slowly gain awareness of your surroundings, and we really must stop meeting under these circumstances.
Yes, but I had to do what I could for my feelings.
She kind of gives a nod and kind of looks at you contemplatively, and yet again, we find ourselves at an impasse. She runs a cold hand through your hair. It will only be by my grace that you survive this day. I'm not done with you yet. But I suggest you don't disappoint me again.
It's like a game over screen.
I'm still not done.
She looks at you, kind of thinking for a moment, and you know the price. An escape from death in exchange for a lifetime of service.
So now he has to give 2 lifetimes.
Indeed. She kind of looks down to you and considers for a moment, and admittedly, I myself am surprised. She considers for a moment before finally saying something that kind of surprises you. I cannot ask for 2 lifetimes of servitude unless I bestow upon you a gift. But I believe I have a way to make this deal fair. And she runs her warmer hand through your hair now in a comforting gesture, and your lifetime of service will for now go uninterrupted. But I must insist on something.
Able.
Heed the words of warning I gave you to amend your ways. I will be monitoring your progress closely. And understand that the dangers you face will only grow more dangerous. Your foes will only grow stronger. The Boomergangers possess 2 artifacts now. You and your friends possess 3. At this point, I believe you know what's to come. The search for the artifacts is drawing to a close. Are you prepared for what may be on the other side of that doorway?
Maybe not. But our goal isn't to open the door. Our goal is to keep it shut.
But if you are not strong enough to resist the pull of the holder of one artifact, will you be able to resist those who wield two?
Well, maybe not. But that time comes, I got a feeling we'll see each other again. I know where I stand.
She gives you a smile, and I will let you return to life, Mr. Orchin, although understand that it is through equally human and mortal intervention as it is through my divinity. If you had been alone, you would have died today. Treasure your companions, but also treasure yourself. And as she runs her hand through your hair, she kind of tightens her grip slightly, and do not forget what you owe me. As payment for this resurrection, your lifetime of service will go unquestioned and unchanged. And as the price for this, you will not ask me any further favor. I've brought you back from the dead twice. I have abandoned my sacred duty out of kindness. Do not think that I'm simply your friend from whom you can ask favors. I will not assist you again. Do we have an understanding?
We do.
Then for now we part. Do you have a means of spreading my worship as you promised?
I have had ideas, though I'm not sure how to go about them at the moment.
I see. Well, I suggest you give it some thought, Mr. Orchin.
With your permission, should I have ideas, if I pray to you and with my ideas, can you give me your blessing or deny them depending on how you feel?
She kind of smirks a little bit, but after a bit of consideration, very well. Your friends are coming for you. You feel the warmth beginning to fade. Treasure yourself and your companions, Mr. Orchin, for soon the fate of the world will hang in the balance. We will not speak to each other again until your debt is repaid. Do you understand me? She gives a nod, and 3 artifacts you have in your possession. 2 now in the grip of the Boomergangers. There are only 3 left. I wish you luck in your travels. I will be watching you. Your vision fades, and you are resurrected. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh my goodness.
Guessing the arc is still not quite over yet.
Yeah, we're going to have one more episode of Trouble on the Tabletop just to wrap everything up. But Imamu has been defeated, and while you did not secure the Pythian Wreath, you now know who has it. and at some point, as Hella noted, it is going to have to come to blows between your team and the Boomer Gangers, who are still out there hunting the artifacts down. As of now, you hold a majority of them, but there are still 3 out there that have not been accounted for. The Boomer Gangers possess the Pythian Wreath of Apollo and a currently unknown artifact that they already possess. But you have managed to secure Vulcan's pistol, Quetzalcoatl's armor, and a compass belonging to an unknown deity. As Chapter 3 comes to a close and Chapter 4 looms on the horizon, we are approaching the halfway mark of the story. Give me just a moment to pull out my outro. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes, post on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/OddTornadoProductions, and check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link's about to be posted as well. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/oddtornadoproductions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd. The TNO are capitalized. If you want to see more of this party plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel a political conspiracy if they can stop stabbing each other in the back long enough.
We pretty much know the political conspiracy now. We're just trying to actually put things into play to get rid of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're still unraveling it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody at the table so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Clear?